Aha! Hello. Hello, good evening and welcome. Welcome back to the Grandstream as we kick off another day here in the Republic of Ireland. A very wet, windy and murky night tonight. A lot of you I know feeling a bit very much under the weather. Big shout out to you over on Instagram. Great to see you over there. Instagram, a surprise visit for you tonight. Great to see you over there. Currently using the Enemy of the State theme for you over there. Looks like you're viewing me through a security camera. Facebook, great to see you over there. Thank you for joining me as the room fills up. Great to see Open Minds. Great to have you in there, brother. Thank you very much. As the Telegram app drops and fills up, great to see you over there, Margaret. I've dropped 3 articles tonight over on the Telegram app. If you haven't already joined the Telegram app, link is in the description box. Click there now. The 3 articles are over there. Telegram is serving as the live chat alternative. If you want to view us and join us and join in the conversation over on Telegram, or alternatively, you can follow me over on my Instagram account for tonight. For tonight only, Delta Fox, great to see you over there. We've got Tip and Martini and Free Gen X. As I say, Instagram, you won't be able to see the articles that I'm going to read tonight. 3 very important articles. 3. Not 33. 33 and a third, as we say here, over here in Ireland. It's been busy on here and I have to get caught up. You do indeed, Margaret. Absolutely. Jenny O'Driscoll over on Facebook. Great to see you guys. Come on in. Gather around, everybody. Come up, close up. Get huddled in next to the fireplace. Uncle GT wants to read you a couple of bedtime stories that will probably elevate your blood pressure. But that is never my intention. That is just always the inevitable outcome. I do apologize. As I say, 3 very important stories that probably won't be mentioned in amongst all the kerfuffle that's going on over here with the level 3 lockdowns now taking place, getting reports of checkdowns or checkpoints being rolled out here in the Republic of Ireland and people's daily movement now being restricted. We had a bit of a backflow on the M50 here, one of our main motorways. But I want to touch back on what I spoke about this morning, and what you might not have caught up with it, Instagram, is the revelation and the declassification of the Russia hoax or the Russia investigate, as it now has become completely unredacted. And you might say, well, what has that got to do with anything? With 30 days leading into the November 2020 election, this is going to be huge. This is huge news. With Obama, Hillary Clinton, and John Brennan indicted, not indicted, but named as having being conspiring to get President Trump, hence tonight's Uncle GT sounds very creepy. Absolutely. Sorry about that, Foxy. Sorry about that, my man. We won't let that one out again. Good evening and welcome to tonight's disquisition with your host, Uncle GT. Who's got the shekels? Oh, careful now with the algorithms. But getting back to, let's stay on point. So it now transpires with the information that's coming through the files of declassification is that Brennan did indeed brief President Obama 2 days prior to what he originally testified to at the onset or the outset of the Russian hoax collusion, as it will transpire and become to be understood that it was the Democrats, more so Obama and Hillary, who were indeed colluding with the Russians. So that's all going to play out. You're not going to hear about that on RTE, redundant treacherous echo chamber. Like I said to you, the words being used or touted is that Brennan was using Hillary Clinton's paid-for Steele dossier, which was already known from the onset by both the FBI and the CIA as having been uncorroborated and unsubstantiated. So they knew it was paid for oppositional propaganda or a hit piece, but it was sent in to stir things up, and it has plagued President Trump's the first 3 years of his presidency. But that now is going to turn. And what I've always spoken about, I remind you to go back to the early onset. I think it's the 4th or 5th video download I did where we spoke and revealed the whole chain of events towards Carter Page being labeled as a priority one spy, hotter than a nuclear weapon per se, and then all transmission or communications emanating from him or around him or any building or any premises that he went into automatically came under wiretapping, as President Trump said it first of all. But the fact now is now becoming very clear is that the FBI knew from it from the start. We've all known it, that the dirty cops will now have to, and as Comey just testified in front of Congress and had lost his memory, but you didn't hear anything about it, can't remember a single thing about any of the investigation, practically pleading the Fifth Amendment as this slow justice is starting to pop out. I'm going to leave it in the more capable hands of Jeff Garrett or Greg Jarrett to ring us through the revelations from the United States. Then I want to lead into some local stories back here. We've had another doctor removed from a position after speaking at last week's a vaccine safety aware rally, shall we call it. We won't use the names or the labels that they use over there. Great to see Catholics Arena over there on Instagram. Catholic Arena, a very good Twitter handle as well, and a very good friend of the show. Just keeping our spiritual strategy going, keeping the spiritual warfare going over on the Twitter sphere. The Catholic Arena, great Twitter account. Get over there if you can. Get to the point, GT. Great to see the trolls in the account over there on Periscope. Really enjoying it. At least you're watching. You got to hear what I'm saying. Okay, let's jump into the first article. And actually, I wanted to touch in again on the headlines that are being pushed out here in the Republic of Ireland with the mainstream media pushing out what is supposedly being lined up as a confrontation between Tony Holohan, the medical expert from NPHET, and the Dandy Gandhi, that is Leo Varadkar, the assistant to the Taoiseach, the assistant to the Taoiseach. That's all I'm going to call him. But that's being framed up as one of my good friends, my learned friend over in New York, often said it's a work. It's like pro wrestling. Bad guy, good guy. They both in it together. If you think Tony Holohan and Leo Varadkar are not, celebrating with each other in the Dáil Bar, because let's remember, the Dáil Bar is the only show in town that is open for anyone to get a drink. Only they can have their scoops. Story, Philip, great to see you in there. Thanks for jumping. Thanks for coming across. Like I said to you, don't be misled by that. That is a work. You be the bad guy this week. I'll be the good guy this week. Yeah, sure. Whatever you think, Leo. Yeah, I'll work it out. I'm going to be the bad guy. Yeah, you be the bad guy. I'll be the good guy. Just in this turn of events, and then we'll just frame it like we're at each other, at loggerheads. The fact that they allowed the level 5 leak to come out is everybody scared asunder out there as people are withdrawing back indoors again. Checkpoints are now visible out on the main thoroughfares and throughout the nation now as lockdowns are being slowly crept in. The level 5 leak was just a persuasion, just to get you used to the idea, because it's coming. Instagram, it's coming. Facebook, Periscope, it's coming. YouTube, those of you joining me afterwards. I don't see how they can possibly not. They want to utterly decimate the middle class. They want to destroy small businesses. You're going to get wiped out. There might be a COVID payment, but the furlough period is coming to an end. The vulture funds are sitting, waiting to collect on their mortgage repayments, as more and more people will face a dark winter as they're being harassed by the vulture funds and the banks. Fuck you, pay me. I don't care if you've lost your job, pay me. That's all they'll say before you're out on the streets. Let's jump straight into the articles and I'll get straight to the point. We're going to try and keep the broadcast under 30 minutes, the new format, so that we can re-upload to YouTube straight after the fact. And I will be joining the live chat over there for the upload straight afterwards. So if you want to come over and say hello, please do. But please pay attention and consider these 3 articles. First, I'm going to get through the files with a great breakdown here from Greg Jarrett, who will break it down to a more palatable size for you to digest. Let's get straight into it. Join me if you will, Instagram. Keep yourself amused. Great to see you. Thanks for joining us, Star Girl. See you over there. Welcome aboard. Stunning revelations expose the FBI's Trump probe as the dirtiest political trick in human history. Evidence continues to mount that Trump was being victimized by rogue and lawless government actors throughout his entire presidency. 26/2020 from Greg Jarrett. It was always a witch hunt designed to get Trump. Collusion was an illusion invented by a suspected Russian spy, but zealously embraced by malevolent actors at the FBI and later by scheming prosecutors on special counsel Robert Mueller's team of partisans. These are the stunning revelations contained in two sets of newly declassified documents that pull back the curtain on the Russian hoax, the dirtiest political trick in American history. In testimony that is corroborated by records, FBI Special Agent William J. Barnett has exposed how the Bureau's collusion investigation of Donald Trump was based on nothing more than supposition on supposition and devoid of any credible evidence. Assigned to lead the Bureau's original investigation into the former White House National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, God bless General Flynn, Barnett came to realize that the case against Flynn was being engineered or manipulated as a way to damage President Trump. Flynn, whose life and livelihood were ruined, became collateral damage. I don't know if you've read his book, In the Field of Fire. It's absolutely can't edit that out afterwards either. It's absolutely a must read. FBI instigators who concluded that there was no plausible case against Flynn were ignored. Instead of closing the investigation down, the critical decision to move forward was made, quote, top down. Then Deputy FBI Director Andrew McCabe, who had a contentious past relationship with Flynn, was calling the shots. The retired three-star Army general didn't stand a chance. Despite the paucity of evidence both against both Flynn and Trump, Agent Barnett reluctantly agreed to join the special counsel team to provide some balance, diversity of thought, to what was clearly a partisan crusade. He naively hoped his perspective might counterbalance the anti-Trump groupthink. It was a fool's errand. For example, Barnett quickly discerned that lawyer Jeanine Rhee was obsessed with Flynn and Russia, and she had an agenda. There was no surprise since Rhee had represented Hillary Clinton in her email scandal, defended the Clinton Foundation in a civil racketeering case, and donated to Clinton's campaign for president. As a key member of Mueller's squad, Rhee was in a position to target the person who had defeated the candidate she had supported and defended. Given how obvious a conflict of interest that represented, it was shameful for Mueller to even consider hiring her, but he seemed unbothered by Rhee's multiple disqualifying conflicts. Indeed, Mueller utilized other lawyers who held the same anti-Trump prejudices. Amazingly, Mueller sheepishly admitted during his congressional testimony that he had no idea of Rhee's involvement with Clinton when he hired her. Yeah, right. Barnett meticulously documented the bureaucratic malfeasance and maliciousness of politicalization of the legal process in what are known as 302 reports. He memorialized the Get Trump attitude by some at the CSO, the Special Counsel Office. Whatever the president said or did was reflexively misrepresented by Mueller's confederates. When President Trump asked investigators to, quote, get to the bottom of a matter, special counsel lawyers interpreted it as, quote, cover it up. The firing of FBI Director James Comey was viewed as conclusive proof of obstruction by the president, instead of an action motivated by some other logical reason, such as the president's dislike of Comey and a desire to replace him. While many of Mueller's lawyers have been motivated by a hatred of Trump, Barnett said it seemed like they wanted to be part of something big, a successful prosecution. This is exactly what Attorney General William Barr warned about in a recent speech: overzealous prosecutors who want to enhance their careers and reputations at the expense of seeking justice. Innocent people become their victims. Great to see you, Ryan. Great to see you, Colin. Let me throw a wave over there. We know that Agent Barnett's testimony and his documentary evidence is a component of U.S. Attorney John Durham's criminal investigation into the origins of the FBI's Russia probe. The same evidence will also be presented in federal court Tuesday, that is today. As Flynn's lawyers and the Justice Department present arguments that the case against him should be dismissed, the joint motion must be granted if U.S. District Judge Emmett Sullivan has any integrity. You'll note that he has been holding and forestalling the dismissal of the case against General Phil, thereby holding him to a media gag so he cannot speak and tell us where the bodies are buried. But according to Greg here, if the man had any integrity, which he don't, He is an Obama deep state plant, has been in there. I remind you, we will hold the Supreme Court, and there are over 300 conservative judges appointed to federal and state benches. All of this comes at a time as the release of another set of declassified documents detailing how the infamous Steele dossier alleging Trump-Russia collusion actually originated from a suspected Russian spy who was designated as a possible national security threat. In simple terms, the phony collusion narrative appears to have been the clever product of Russian lies and disinformation designed to damage Trump and funded by the Clinton campaign and Democrats. This is precisely what I argued in my book, The Witch Hunt, the story of the greatest mass delusion in American political history. That's Greg Jarrett's book, recommended to you. Comey's FBI knew this all along, having interviewed Steele's primary source in January 17, just days after Trump was inaugurated as president, but the Bureau kept it carefully concealed. Despite knowing that the dossier was not remotely credible, Comey and others used it to spy on former Trump campaign advisor Carter Page. Make your way over to the 4th or 5th broadcast down on my video playlist. You'll see it there. Q. Have to be careful using that with the algorithms, but Carter Page, just search that in there. Comey and others used it to spy on former Trump campaign advisor Carter Page. Judges on the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court were deceived and the court itself was defrauded. Evidence continues to mount that Trump has been victimized by rogue and lawless government actors throughout his entire presidency. Law enforcement was weaponized for a purely political purpose. As Democrats and the biased anti-Trump media spun the daily tale that Donald Trump was a traitor working with and for the Russians. If Americans are to have any faith in their government, Durham must expose the full truth, and those who betrayed their positions of trust should be held accountable. Indeed, Greg, indeed. Indeed, my good sir, Great to see Telegram filling up there. Great for you to join me over there, Philip. What we said, what have we got over here on Facebook just to bring some of you in there? Yeah, absolutely, Philip. That's it. Do you did, Anton? Good to see you. Yes, Sean agrees there. Level 3 won't work then. Level 5, absolutely. Philip, I agree. Hi, Phyllis. Let me throw it up there from Philip. We need the whole group come together and agree on 5 main things. They need to fight, stand together, and let no distraction get in the way. They need to stop calling each other out. It's ridiculous. Only going to divide people. Yes, indeed, Philip. I concur. Don't forget, there's an event happening this Saturday. Now is more than important ever for you to be present and put boots on the ground. All you're asked to do is attend. Do not let the papers, or indeed do not let the government dissuade you from your attendance there. It's designed to slow you down. They're already trying to frame it that there will be violence there. Not from any of us that are in attendance there. We're all safety and risk aware, and we've come to show our dissension to the government's plans for further lockdowns and the utter decimation of the Irish economy under the guise of a medical tyranny. Let's go over to the second of our broadcasts here. Let me throw that up there, Corey. Good on you. I'll throw that up there for the remainder while I get this next one set up. Details on the screen there for you now of the event happening here this Saturday. Make sure you share that and spread it on far and wide. Thanks for that, Brink. We've got Brian Kenny in Instagram there joining us and sending out the Telegram link, and new friends, old and new, joining us as well. Great to see you over there. Us, lady. Yeah, keep that there. Let's jump over to the next article. As I said, this won't disappear for some reason. But this from the Limerick Leader. Oof. The Limerick doctor removed from role as chair of Shannon Dock after COVID rally speech. This doctor was removed from his position after he joined the many great patriots and the many great citizens that were protesting outside Custom House last Saturday. You remember we did a bright broadcast and showed you a top overview of those in attendance. But this doctor made an impassioned speech. I wasn't there for it, but I've seen some of the video uploads from the other YouTube content creators who were there that day. Well done to you all. We have our own media here, so nothing gets missed. Let me drop that down. How do I drop that down? By clicking on this one here. 100%, Philip. Get it done, brother. Get it done. Thank you for that. The chairperson of Shannon Dock has been removed from his position after he delivered the scathing anti-COVID restriction speech against NPHET and the government at a rally in Dublin last week. And Dr. Patrick Morrissey, who operates in clinic in Adair, told the Limerick leader that a meeting of the Shannon Dock board on Monday night concluded that he was to be removed from the board as chairman and director. In a lengthy speech that was widely circulated on social media, Dr. Morrissey said that the National Public Health Emergency Team, NPHET, was the Knights of NPHET. We are the Knights of NPHET that go yet. NPHET was completely out of touch and it should be scrapped. In a long list of claims at the rally hosted by the so-called Yellow Vest movement, he said that NPHET believe your health is determined by a stupid swab result and that it is meaningless data being used to subdue the people. Quote, we must take back our country and our freedoms from these megalomaniac bureaucrats, he told a cheering crowd. He told the leader that evidence had mounted up to show that, quote, we are practically at the level of herd immunity now. He told that rally that the pandemic is, quote, by any reasonable definition, no longer a health emergency as it kills people with an average age of 84 and that 90% of deaths are in the over 65s. Us, the over 65s, with big respect. When asked about this new view, Dr. Morrissey said, people die every day. I was at the bedside of a patient who died yesterday. I see death all the time. People are abstracted. People don't understand that they've got a death phobia. Death is part of life. And the government and NPHET are using people's fear of death and irrational fear of death as a hammer to beat them. Dr. Morrissey said on Tuesday he was treated around 60 patients brought at his clinic at a COVID hub during the pandemic. He said, in defiance of guidelines from the HSE, he has treated patients with hydroxychloroquine, zinc, vitamin D, and azithromycin. Who would have known? Who would have known? During the rally, he hit out at NPHET, stating that their definition of health meant zero COVID. Quote, I would argue that the health is playing a match of or cheering on your team from the stands. Health is getting married in and celebrating with those you love. Health is looking out on a sea of smiling, maskless faces, he said. Asked if he was anti-mask, the Limerick GP said, I am against mandatory masks in lower risk settings. So in clinical settings, I have no problem with masks. In places where there is unavoidable close contact over 15 minutes, I'm okay with masks. Quote, we must stop the government heavy-handedness and suppression of our hard-fought freedoms. It suits them not to give them back. We went along with the government strategy in March when we saw the chaotic scenes in Spain and Italy. Good evening to you, DJ. Every day I see the negative physical, psychological fallout of these continuing restrictions. NPHET, as it currently stands, should be scrapped. Doctors should be allowed to treat high-risk patients in the community. This way we can keep more of them out of hospital. The daily case numbers must be stopped being pushed by the media on our people suffering from more than COVID fatigue than COVID. Asked if it was fair that he was removed from his position at Shannon Dock, Dr. Morrissey said, I think it's a sad indictment of a country that we live in and the time we live in, that things are so polarized that there isn't room for free speech and that I would be made penalized because of that. But I respect the board's integrity and they have made a judgment. A spokesman for Shannon Dock said that Dr. Morrissey is, quote, no longer its chairperson or a member of the board. Quote, we wish to thank Dr. Morrissey for his significant contribution to the development of the cooperative during his tenure. We will embark on the process of appointing Dr. Morrissey's successor with immediate effect. Just a quick and instant dismissal, just like that. No care or thought to the man's livelihood or anything to the sort. But the man was speaking logos, speaking his logos, speaking the truth. I often said I may be wrong, but I'm not lying to you. Absolutely, Liz. Liz says the exact same thing. Corey hits it out of the park. Globalism is the virus. Nationalism is the cure. I concur. But I mean, people kind of pull up their britches and go, oh, you are the boogeyman. You are awful people. Stop it with your bloody outright conservatism. For shame. Get over it. Get over it, princess. Times they are a shit. For the times they are a shit. Don't even sing him. Right, the last article, as I'm going to make this a quick fire through, run through. This is the most important article. This is a palate refresher. This is honest journalism. This is an opinion piece from our good friend. I read his article out to you there not so long ago, Michael Sullivan again, who forwarded on to me his latest installment, which I am very happy to read out. I am going to add a few ad homonyms and maybe replace a couple of names with some euphemisms or some local colloquialisms to mask and trying to protect ourselves as much as possible. But this is what I would like to read in my paper. This is what I will be linking to the freepress.ie, Stephen Donnelly. Links into Telegram if you haven't read this, but this is critical thing. This is critical for everybody on all sides of the political spectrum. Please do pay attention. I nearly did it. Kung Flu Donnelly is a lawyer. Garda checkpoints at mask hysteria prove it. On Tuesday night's RTE's primetime programme, some trolley dolly interviewed Kung Flu Donnelly, the current Irish Minister for Health, and cooked Neffet Poodle. A short clip of the interview is embedded below. Stephen told many manipulated Irish citizens how he was asking Neffet, the cabal of pharma insiders running the country, to look at whether we need to ban visors. Stephen is talking more rubbish to cover up many previous COVID lies he and Neffet have regurgitated into the Irish public. He is desperately scrambling to keep the irrational Irish COVID fear going in order to prepare a psychological terrain of the population for a government-funded vaccine program. Let me get that up on display for you there. We can say this because we have the science on mask efficacy, and so does Stephen. To freepress.ie is not anti-vaccine. We are pro-safe vaccine. Like most right-thinking people, it takes many years to develop safe vaccines. When you look at the real stats on the virus, there is no justification for spending billions on vaccine programs when so many more are dying of cervical cancer, heart disease. The money should be spent on clearing waiting lists, improving quality of life for people suffering daily. It should be spent on setting up proper cervical screening programs that Neffet seem uninterested in fixing. Cancer is killing far more people than COVID, going by their own statistics. Spend it on mental health programs to help fix the broken minds they have destroyed with their lies. The last time this vaccine scam was pulled in 2010, the rushed swine flu vaccine damaged many lives worldwide, and the Irish government gave the pharma companies complete legal cover. Pharma companies had zero legal liabilities for the lives they ruined by cashing in with rushed, unnecessary vaccines. Fear was created in people. The government brought millions of vaccines. Pharma companies were enriched. They had zero motivation to ensure vaccines were safe. Quote, they were legally covered. Lives were ruined. Some people got rich. The same will be proposed again, and we must oppose it. We oppose it by exposing the truth. The lawsuits for swine flu vaccine damage are still going to this day. As you can see via the link immediately above on the Irish Examiner, Neil Ferguson was also central to creating the deliberately inaccurate hysteria models for swine flu, as he was for COVID. How many more times must we be fooled and have lives destroyed before we realise we are being scammed by the Irish deep state operatives that have weaseled their way to the top and who are now playing their part in a massive con? Stephen, Kung Flu, and RTE know that masks are ineffective against viral spread. Kung Flu is a shameless pathological liar enabled by the Irish media. We linked the CDC science on masks released in May in this article. In the cast iron peer-reviewed science, masks do not prevent the spread of viruses. Tons more evidence is out there that masks do nothing to prevent viral spread. Or redundant, treacherous echo chamber and the rest of Irish media never touch it because it would show them up for being liars too. Surgeons shouldn't even wear it in operating theatres anymore, according to this peer-reviewed science. Here's more science to back that up, and read the results in the section. Links are in both of them articles if you do want to follow up to the observations made. There are some very clear and obvious implications to what Kung Flu Donnelly is saying. Number one, Neffet on the Irish government's war on the service industry and pubs continues. Visors are the only things allowing people working on their feet and communicating all day to barely breathe. And even then, they are utterly stifling and useless against viral spread. Trying to remove visors is an option for those people, is another attack on public meeting places because staff cannot breathe while running around in cloth masks. Many will quit their jobs. Number two, the cabal's war on pubs and cafes and general meeting places is real. Kung Flu and the pharma-owned Knights of Nefid do not want people talking about their lives, about the nursing home deliberate deaths we wrote about, and about the lack of science and debate in the media. They know that more and more people are questioning their lies and official lie narrative. Press Up Limited, the company who owns Dublin's famous Elephant and Castle restaurant, Amazing Wings, as many Dubliners know, are suing the government, as reported in the Irish Times, for using pseudoscience to destroy their businesses. The latest Garda checkpoints being rolled out today in front of your very eyes and mass nonsense is about the Irish government keeping the public opinion on their side. Keep the fear going with visual manifestations of the threat and keep the control going. Kung Flu will continue to appeal to authorities to justify his lies. He mentions 2 doctors in his monologue above to attempt to make us switch off and trust him. We went into detail on how the fraudsters often use appeal to authority in this article on the COVID extremists. It is clear that the media are going to continue to unquestionably bow to the tripe coming out of Kung Flu Donnelly's mouth for the foreseeable future, and how the media are enabling the Irish government's lies. Some trolley-dolly also know that the science shows masks do not prevent viral spread, but her editor, managing director of news and current affairs at RTE since 2017, JW, won't let her report the truth. JW worked at Disney-owned ABC News prior to his role at RTE, and also at the Jimmy Savile-ravaged BBC before that. JW left the BBC for ABC on March 2013, about the same time as Mark Thompson left the BBC. Mark Thompson, you remember, presided over Jimmy Savile's reign of terror, destroying children's lives as BBC Director General, and looked the other way. He was rewarded with a position running the Marxist New York Times, where he still works. These are the men creating the narratives of nations. RTE, by not reporting the CDC's release in May, broke the 2009 Broadcasting Act, which they continue to do daily since February. You can find the 2009 Broadcasting Act broadcaster section here. RTE have never given both sides of this story. They have never reported the available Italian coronavirus surveillance statistics in March or since, and we have them on tape acknowledging that they knew about it. They then go to link the section 39. And it cites, number 1, every broadcaster shall ensure that A, all news broadcast by the broadcaster is reported and presented in an objective and impartial manner and without any expression of the broadcaster's own views. The broadcaster's treatment of current affairs, including matters which are either in the public controversy or the subject of current public debate, is fair to all interests concerned that the broadcast matter is presented in an objective and impartial manner and without any expression on his or her own views, except that it should prove impracticable in relation to a single broadcast to apply this paragraph. 2 or more related broadcasts may be considered as a whole if the broadcasts are transmitted within a reasonable period. And we all remember when the inevitable Vincent Browne chewed Stephen Donnelly when he jumped ship from the Social Democrats and made his way over to Fianna Fáil, sort of casting aside whose base who put him into government. But Vincent wasn't having none of his guff and chewed him apart. And he had no qualms about his actions at that time. The last 2 are the sites for the regulations are there, but we'll continue on with the article. RTE has also not reported to the wider public the current official HSE debt figures released 2nd of December 2020 on page 11 of this report. RTE have broken the law. You are paying to keep RTE in existence via your taxes going towards government COVID propaganda money, and of course, your license fee tax. When all you get is lies, Fair City and Clareburn pretending to be sick in a garden shed, it might be time to demand an end to RTE. The Journal.ie, the cancel culture crowd who won't and don't allow people to downvote comments, have also led with more mass propaganda on their website. The Journal's editorial staff also know that the science of masks isn't even up for debate. The Irish Times and the Independent are the same. The Irish media continue to lie about COVID-19 and not report the truth because, as we explained here, COVID ad money is the only thing keeping their businesses afloat. Please share this fact with your network if you read the Journal and their manipulated comments section. Conflict Donnelly is only interested in optics. The new traffic checkpoints across Ireland are just like masks, a physical manifestation of a threat that does not exist on paper or in real life. Remember, the death rate is minuscule compared to all other mortality causes in Ireland, and there were never any autopsies done. Conflict Donnelly is a liar, and he is ramping up fear based on pseudoscience. The vaccine program he is preparing Irish minds for will be executed by Big Pharma, who make up to 60% of our exports and who are facing bankruptcy in the US for their role in the opioid crisis. For a virus we do not need a vaccine for, Ireland is an important link in the global vaccine fear message, and any white hats in the Irish government are in a difficult spot, given that pharma are facing bankruptcies and they make up so much of our exports. Conflict Donnelly is the latest in a long line of compromised health ministers who are not acting in the interests of the Irish people, and no one is questioning the non-science, not the media and not the opposition. Indeed, Sinn Féin have supported the technocratic cabal at every step of the way and asked zero questions while also having access to the same science. And they were also represented on Newstalk early this morning here in the Republic of Ireland. And Mary Lou cited that she would probably have us in even stringent lockdowns. She would take us to level 10 because that's what you deserve, you bastards. You didn't vote me in. Why have Sinn Féin not made political capital by questioning the pseudoscience? Why do they go along with Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael every step of the way while jobs and lives are destroyed for a virus that science now shows has been hugely overestimated in terms of overall impact? We'll explore that issue more soon. If the media and the controlled political opposition will not question their destruction of our country, then we will have to roll up our sleeves and do it ourselves as citizens of this great nation. And again, you'll find links to that. You'll find links to that piece over in the Telegram, and I will link them in the description box for the show afterwards. Okay, live chat, we've run completely over our time. Instagram, thank you very much for your continued company. Facebook and Periscope, absolute ledge bags, absolute legends. Telegram, you have been phenomenal over there. I'm going to check out now, but before I do, please don't forget, smash that like button if you thought this was of any use to you. Please leave your thoughts, comments, and witticisms in the comment section down below. We do love to read through them below. Please consider sharing this also on your alternative platforms. It does keep us in the algorithms and does keep the channel over on YouTube very much alive. Hello to you, live chat over there. I'm still in the naughty corner over here in Facebook and Periscope. Who knows for how long? But I do it because I like you. Thank you all again for all your continued support. Links in the description box how you can support the channel, as you all have been doing so meritoriously with your donations. The big bull, I'm going to call it Hal. Hal is sitting there like the big behemoth in artificial intelligence technology that it is. Oh, Sal, I'm sorry, I can't do that, Dave. Okay, before let's go, thank you all for your continued support. World Wide Web, grandtrainer.ie. Big shout out to you. Us, thanks everybody. Also, PO Box 13179 Wicklow, if you want to drop us a letter or a line. And please, if you haven't done so already, get yourself over to Telegram. Come and join the crazy gang over there. Over there. Over there. Over there. Over there. Instagram, I'm going to let you go. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you again in the next episode of the Grand. What do they call it? The Grand Instagram TV. Instagram, be good. Talk to you soon. Us. We let Instagram go and live chat. See you over there on the dark side. Be good. Talk to y'all later. Talk to you in the morning. Oh, sorry, no stream in the morning. See you tomorrow evening, possibly with a guest. Do brace yourselves, majors. Oh, you are awful, but I like you.